Yeah, so Frenzy is the second best in the UK behind Professor Pro, 14th on the latest public European PR. It sounds like from Jug and Juice Mind there's going to be a new one coming out soon. That was from mid-2019. And for anyone who I'm unsure of, I have some player notes on players, what region they're from, where they are on a particular PR, and ranks for the people he lost to beat. So let's kind of just go through here and highlight the important wins and losses. Bombino seems like an out-character loss. Bombino is a Falcon. He's the 10th on the UK PR. I'm more willing to give Frenzy the benefit of the doubt on this loss because he's also from the UK and ranked a lot lower than him. So I would imagine that his head-to-head is positive with him. And Bombino plays, let me check that one time, Falcon. Especially that he plays Falcon versus Falco. What's not listed on his Liquipedia page that I think is really, really important to include is this local. Why I thought this tournament was really important to include, even though like locals are more for seeing greater trends, because we don't get many of these results to go off of how good Frenzy is against US talent. And I think a lot of ranking European players is getting that 1 or 2 reference points outside, like getting these wins over Triff and Amsa, who are like the staples of like, we know these guys are good in Europe, and when they come to the US, they're really good. So like, when Frenzy beats Triff, it's kind of like a whisper down the lane of wins. Like Frenzy beats Triff, and we know Triff beats really good US players. So transitive property. Wins don't exactly work like that. But it's more of give us a reference point. But better than that is when we see that Frenzy beats Kells 3 times, which I think beating him 3 times at the same tournament is a really good indication. And for those who don't remember, including myself, Kells was 73 on last year's 2018 PGR. I don't know where exactly Kells is going to be this year or what he's done so far. But still, beating Kells, a known really good player 3 times in a row, is really dope. Also, I think really dope, MDVA retired, Fox and Marth, I believe, read. Dr. Lobster is Sheik, who beat Calvar at the recent NEM Memorial. Oh, no, the Mamam Memorial. Billy, we talked about him on the last resume review, really good Fox. And Chabo, who I just talked about. So these aren't wins that are going to boost Frenzy's resume a lot, but these are wins that kind of give us more of an insight to where he falls among the really good US players. Like beating players like these and losing out of the tournament to Lucky and KJH. This is an incredible tournament for getting a feel for where he is. That's really, really dope. Beating all these, like, I mean, like I was saying, none of these, maybe Billy's probably like a good win within here, but all these other wins are good for like solidifying the fact that we know that Frenzy's a really good player. Yeah, so going down the wins, we're kind of just going through first and highlighting. Oh, I completely skipped over, because this was Nebby when he was still on the controller. In the same vein of having these red Dr. Lobster, Billy Bo Peep, Shabo wins, getting these wins also on his home turf, the show like how good he is against the players in his own region, or in Europe. Yeah, but showing off that he's good against all these players in his own region is also really dope. The Fat Man Spam loss. He's an Ices player. He's like 40-something on the EU PR. 39th. That was close. Ices player. And then there's also Alpha Dash. He beat Alpha Dash at a later tournament, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Oh, but then he bounced back at Super Bowl. Nikki wins definitely worth a highlight here. Amsa wins definitely worth a highlight here. I wonder how his head-to-head for the year against Amsa is. I guess we can look at, and that was the same thing we were looking at with Nikki as well. It seems like we're getting kind of changing the guard as well, comparison to that, because Nikki was like 3-2 or something on Amsa, and from this he's 1-2, 2-1, 2-1 on Amsa, which is pretty dope as well. They run off the top of my head, but these are also really good wins. And again, beating some more New England players to show where he kind of falls. So his hopes for top 100. I think Frenzy should be able to make it. Let me actually bring up Nikki and compare his results to Nikki. Yeah, so Nikki, if I'm in the same breath saying that Nikki's a lock for the top 100, I think I'd be ludicrous to say that Frenzy's also not a lock for the top 100. Being up 2-1 on Amsa from the results we have in front of us is really dope. Having a win over like Billy and Dr. Lobster and Shabo, these other people that are going to be, well, I don't know what Dr. Lobster has done this year besides beating Calvar at Mamam, but beating Billy's really dope to see. Beating a lot of good players in region, beating Nikki as well. and Zamu Koyashi. He has a lot of wins. Besides Triff, he doesn't have that big American win. I guess you could say the Michael win is probably big. I think that's actually his biggest by rank. Well, if you don't count Triff. Wait, you don't have a Triff win? There's the secondaries. Yope. Thank you for being here to catch that, Frenzy. All right, you're not getting ranked top 100. That changes everything. Actually, Frenzy, I can ask you when you're here now. What's your local head-to-heads look like against Bombino? Because I was going to say it's 4-1 against Bombino. Yeah, that's exactly kind of what... Even with Tino? Okay, so... Even with Tino, I'd say maybe is a little against you. But 4-1 on Bombino is good. That's why I had this like lightly highlighted. Because you guys are local, so I imagine you played a lot. So... Circle back. So, being up 2-1 on Amsa from the results we have here is really good. Knowing now that he's 4-1 on Bombino, really dope to see. The big thing that makes me excited for Frenzy and makes it more probable for me that he's going to make the top 100 is this string of wins right here. And this string of wins right here, like these 3 events really make it for me. Also, a run to second with all these talented players in attendance was really dope. But these 2 events show that he's a contender in EU, and this event shows, and then also, well, yeah, I guess these 2 events, Big House and Smash and Splash, show that Frenzy could also be, if he was in the US, he'd be a contender. He'd be in that like 70 to 100 range. And I think that's probably where I'd say maybe it's hard to guess for players of this range, but I'd say maybe like 80 to 100. Sechi is 7-6 with Frenzy. That's also being pretty even though that's Falco Falcon, which is a good matchup for Falco, or generally accepted to be a good matchup for Falco, because Sechi's so good. That's also really dope to have. Yeah, so I think like maybe like the 75 to 100 range. And yeah, having all these tournaments is really, really dope as well. Oh yeah, I completely missed highlighting over this. He's from a Pittsburgh Marth, I believe. So that's maybe another iffy loss that I don't think Kroiki's going to make top 100, even though I've seen that lane. But 12-12 with Sechi, especially with how Sechi is going to be like top 50, that's really dope. Yeah, so I think Frenzy makes it. Again, I always have to say that range is such a crapshoot because of how finicky it could get. Is all I have to say. But yeah, 75 to 100 range, Frenzy's going to make the top 100. It's really dope to have another Falco, and especially dope to have another European player.